VR is undoubtedly becoming a major part of gaming. With modern tools like Unity, anyone can make a VR game. Like this guy here. Please don't sue me, Danny. People every day are beginning their journey into VR gaming, and I'm here to try and soften the impact of VR for those people by outlining some of what I think are the key areas. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and most importantly, subscribe. My VR journey started when I was invited to a friend's house to try out her Oculus Rift. It was a fun experience, and I remember sliding on the headset and playing Beat Saber for the first time. It's really not something I'd forget, seeing as I nearly ended up falling over and hugging the floor a few times.
I love you, floor!
This brings me on to my first main point about VR. For the average user, the first time sucks. The first thing I noticed, after spending nearly 10 minutes shittily sabering the beats to Through the Fire and Flames, was that I felt quite sick. VR can be rather nauseating at first, especially if you want to jump in and play something like Blade and Sorcery before you grow in your VR legs. VR legs is a term that people use, and from my understanding, it's basically the difference between being on your feet
This is fine.
and being on your head.
This is fine!
Being in VR can kind of mess up your senses a bit, especially during fast movement. You see, your body isn't actually moving, hopefully, but your brain sees you darting across a room as fast as you can. This leads to some discomfort and eventually sickness. Developers have tried to find different ways to counteract this by using various locomotion options. That's ways to move for the idiots out there. The easiest way on the brain is teleportation. Now, while this sounds like it could shatter your immersion and have you screaming
0 out of 10, I wanna walk!
so loud that the neighbours think you've suddenly become an amputee, it's actually not so bad. It is, in my experience, more immersive than taking a 16th of a step and puking your brains out.
Man, this is fine.
The least most easy way on the brain is to have normal controls. That is, left stick to move freely and the right stick to look freely. While this sounds way better than teleportation, it's certainly not good for people prone to motion sickness and or falling over.
Oh no! Ugh.
Like I mentioned before, your brain sees movement, but your body just exists, doing nothing. This leads to your body's wires getting confused and screaming at you for that sweet, sweet relief.
This is fine.
Other than wanting to die every time you step, VR is really cool. Remember when Doom pioneered the FPS genre? Well, get that out of here, let me blast wieners with my tricked out M4! Remember when Guitar Hero kinda changed the way we saw rhythm games? Well, not anymore, I'm gonna slice up these boxes! In short, VR lets you do stuff. Games in VR have a special way of making you feel amazed at the littlest things. We all know how a marker works.
Yay!
But when I picked up one in Half-Life Alyx and found out that it worked, I stayed in that area for about 30 minutes creating art. The first time I played Hotdogs, Horseshoes and Handgrenades, I didn't go straight for the minigun or a grenade launcher. No. I went for the gun that I'd used in real life. I held it in my VR hands, I gloated at how real it looked. And then I threw it away and dual-wielded some deagles because fuck you! Another moment that stood out to me on my journey of VR was when I first had combat in Boneworks. You see, Boneworks is an interesting game. It's a subtle blend of physics everywhere and shitting your pants.
I'm not doing that.
So anyway, I still remember how it felt to be in combat in Boneworks, always checking my ammo, panicking when I needed to reload, and finally when I got in the hang of it, I remember doing something awesome that I will recreate here with animation. There were 3 null bodies. I had very limited ammo for my pistol, and I had 2 daggers. I ran up to the first null body, stabbed him with one of the daggers, fired at one of the other null bodies and got a headshot. The third null body started waddling towards me, so I fired every bullet I had at it and missed every shot. So I whipped out my magnum dong, slammed it into the head of the null body I'd already stabbed, finishing it off before sprinting at the last null body, jumping into the air, smacking my hand on my light, getting scared and deciding that I should stop playing for the day. The point point I am trying to make is this: you should definitely, absolutely 100% get a VR headset and some VR games. As the years have gone on, VR has become more affordable and user-friendly. You no longer need an expensive PC to run a game on your expensive headset. You can get an Oculus Quest for about £400 and grab Beat Saber for £23. While that certainly isn't cheap, it's definitely less than a £2,500 PC and a near £1,000 VR kit. And yes, I'm kind of blowing up the prices there. I mean, hell, if you have a PS4 and are willing to settle for a subpar experience, in my opinion, for £300 you can get the PSVR headset and 5 games. What a bargain. Even Nintendo jumped onto the VR trend. Sort of. Anyway, that's it. That's the video. If you liked it, slap like. If you didn't like it, also slap like. Please, I need the validation. Beat the crap out of the subscribe button, ring that bell, and I will see you next time.